Hi children, good morning. Welcome to today's social science class. In this video, I'm going to explain about the Mughals' revenue system, Sabt and Zamindars, and about closer look of Akbar's policies. Sabt and Zamindars. The main source of income available to Mughal rulers was tax on the produce of the peasantry. In most places, peasants paid taxes through the rural elites, that is, the headman or the local chieftain. The Mughals used one term, semindars, to describe all intermediaries, whether they were local headmen of villages or powerful chieftains. Akbar's revenue minister, Todar Mal, carried out a careful survey of crops yields, prices, and areas cultivated for a 10-year period, 1570 to 1580. On the basis of this data, taxes was fixed on each crops in cash. Each province was divided into revenue circles with its own schedule of revenue rates for individual crops. This revenue system was known as Sapt. It was prevalent in those areas where Mughal administrators could survey the land and keep very careful accounts. This was not possible in provinces such as Gujarat and Bengal. In some areas, the Zamindars exercised a great deal of power. The exploitation by Mughal administrators could drive them to rebellion. Sometimes, Zamindars and peasants of the same caste allied in rebellion against Mughal authority. These peasant revolts challenged the stability of the Mughal Empire from the end of the 17th century. Figure 4.6 is an example of details from a miniature form of Shah Jahan's regions depicting corruption in his father's administration. First one, a corrupted officer receiving a bribe and a tax collector punishing poor peasants. Akbarnama and Ain-e-Akbari. Akbar ordered one of his close friends and courtiers, Abdul Fasal, to write a history of his region. Abdul Fasal wrote a 3-volume of history of Akbar's region, titled Akbarnama. The first volume deals with Akbar's ancestors, and the second volume recorded the events of Akbar's region. The third volume is the Ain-e-Akbari. It deals with Akbar's administration, household, army, the revenues, and the geography of his empire. It is also provides rich deals about the tradition and cultures of the people living in India. A closer look Akbar's policies. The broad features of administration were laid down by Akbar and were elaborately discussed by Abdul Fasal in his book, the Akbarnama, in particular in its last volume, the Ain-e-Akbari. Abdul Fasal explained that the empire was divided into provinces called Subhas, governed by a Subadar, who carried out both political and military functions. Each province also had a financial officer or divan. For the maintenance of peace and order in his provinces, the Subadar was supported by other officers such as the military paymaster Bakshi, the minister in charge of religious and charitable patronage Sardar, military commanders Faujidars, and the town police commander Kotwal. Akbar's nobles commanded large armies and had access to large amount of revenue. While they were loyal to empire functioned efficiently, but by the end of the 17th century, many nobles had built independent networks of their own. Their loyalties to the empire were weakened by their own self-interest. While Akbar was at Fatehpur Sikri during the 1570s, he started discussion on religion with the ulama, brahmanas, Jesuit priests who were Roman Catholics and Zoroastrians. These discussions took place in the Ibadat Khana. He was interested in the religion and social customs of different people. Akbar's interaction with people of different faiths made him realize that religious scholars who emphasized ritual and dogma were often bigots. Dogma means a statement or an interpretation declared as authoritative with the expectation that it would be followed without question. Bigot means an individual who is intolerant of another person's religious beliefs or culture. Akbar's interaction with the people of different faiths made him realize that religious scholars who emphasize ritual and dogma were often bigots. Their teachings created divisions and disharmony amongst his subjects. This eventually Akbar to the idea of sul-e-kul or universal peace. The idea of tolerance did not discriminate between people of different religion in his realm. Instead, it focused on a system of ethics, honesty, justice, peace that was universally applicable. Abdul Fasal helped Akbar in framing a vision of governance around this idea of sul-e-kul. This principle of governance was followed by Jahangir and Shah Jahan as well. Okay, children, I'm going to wind up this video. Now you have to read this chapter many times and underline important points, then two given works. Thank you. Thank you to listening my class.